Okay, we are getting there, guys. We are getting there. It feels like it's going by so slowly, but I wrote down a bunch of things that I was going to talk about in this video, and then I left my list at work, so I'm going to try to wing it. So since I posted the last video, I can't remember what all I said last time, but we have done a financial consult for IVF over the phone. Then we had a consult with the doctor. And I don't think I told you guys this last time, but he told us that we would probably have like a 75 to 80% chance of success. I think that's per time that you do IVF. So that was really reassuring. I was expecting it to be like 60 or 65%, honestly, but I didn't really know. And then after that, we had a talk with the IVF nurse also over the phone so that we didn't have to go, travel for any of these appointments. She freaked me out a little bit more than the IVF doctor did. He was very encouraging, very optimistic. She was super nice about it, but I think she's probably just like logical, like a realist. She mentioned something about averages for IVF, and she was saying something along the lines of, suppose you get about 10 eggs, that's like usually the average, and then you assume half of those survive being fertilized, and then after they get fertilized, they grow them for 5 to 6 days, they grow the embryos, and then at that point, usually they said the strongest ones are the ones who have survived the 5 to 6 days of growing. So she said, imagine you get 10, half of those survive fertilization, then half of those survive the 5 or 6 days that they grow, and then half of those survive the freezing process. So I'm like, oh my God. And so ultimately she did say, like, in a good cycle, hopefully we'll get one good one. And I'm like, oh, that was not what I was expecting to hear. So that was a little disappointing. In my head that doesn't know things about this process, I guess I was just thinking like, oh, maybe we'll have a few embryos, like say we get like 4 embryos, and then if we get lucky and it works the first time, we can freeze the other 3 and use them again the next time. But I guess, I don't know, I guess this is normal to get like 1. So we'll see how that goes. So she kind of talked over the process with us, and she made us a calendar. I brought the calendar in here to show you because it's pretty crazy. This is the calendar. This is for March. April's not as crazy. I had to stare at this for a while before I understood it, but where was I going? So she gave us this calendar, and she pretty much started planning immediately right there. She wrote me a prescription for birth control because they want to suppress everything that's going on in my ovaries until they're ready to, kick it up and make things happen. So she gave me some low-dose combo birth control pills, and they told me to skip the last week, which is the placebo week. It doesn't have any hormones. So I've just been on hormones for like, I don't know, a little less than 6 weeks now. Haven't had a period, which is kind of nice, but I was on birth control pills for years and I forgot what it was like, really. And so my boobs hurt really bad, and it's like, I'm just so done with birth control. I don't ever want to be on birth control again. I think this honestly might be more annoying. I don't know what the IVF meds are going to be like, but I feel like this is really annoying. And when she told me that I had to get on birth control pills, I was like, oh man, I just want to be done with this in my life. And then she gave us a few pharmacies that she named and said they would be reaching out to us. And she said, you'll have to talk to them and compare their pricing. Sometimes they have deals, and the drugs are really expensive. So all 3 of those reached out to me, and I asked them about their pricing. We picked one, called them back. They very quickly sent the meds. It was like overnight or something. And I'm pretty sure there are no drugs left in the world because they are all in our fridge. I have all of the drugs. Yeah, they're taking up like the entire bottom shelf of our fridge. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a big bag of needles, and Chris was pretty intimidated by it. He's not comfortable with needles. They kind of freak him out. And I didn't really ask, I kind of told him that he would need to give these injections to me, which he wasn't happy about at first. He was like, you're gonna have the guy who's afraid of needles give you these injections. And I was like, you don't have to get them. So yeah, I am. But looking at the needles, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if they were gonna be like muscular or subcutaneous in the fat. I had no idea, but I started looking at the packaging of all the drugs, and luckily, thank goodness, with my medical background, I do understand, how they're going to be given, what route, and I feel very, very comfortable with needles because I've been working with them for a long time. I was trained as a medical assistant by very nitpicky people who wanted to use the best methods and do things correctly, and then I've carried that on into my nursing career, so I just feel really comfortable with needles. So looking at all of those, they really pretty much all looked like they're tiny, almost like insulin injections in your belly. They are all like little half-inch, just tiny skinny needles. So I'm guessing they will mostly all be subcutaneous in the fat layer, and they'll be tiny. And if there's anything deeper than that, I don't think I will have him do it. My cousin is pretty ballsy with that stuff, so I'll probably teach her how to get an injection and have her do that if there's any bigger needles. But for the time being, he was out there practicing on an orange with just some water and an orange, and it was kind of cute because he was asking me, so is this how you hold it? And yeah, so he's giving it his best, and I really appreciate that because I don't want to do it to myself. So yeah, he's practiced on his orange. We still have a little bit left though until we do the meds. The first appointment for meds is going to be on March 21st, and we will go over there, go in for the appointment. I think they're going to show us how to do all the meds. That's the day we actually start them, and then they go for 10 days. March 21st is a Tuesday, so we come back that night, go to work Wednesday, Thursday. We don't work on Fridays. And then my birthday's on Saturday, I think, the 25th. I think that's Saturday. Whatever it is, Saturday or Sunday, we go back on my birthday, and we are getting an Airbnb, and we have to stay there for a solid week. Because during that week, we will still be doing the meds. It's going on for 10 days total. And we will have to get ultrasounds every other day. So it's impractical for us to drive, 3 hours every other day. So we're just going to stay over there, bite the bullet and miss a week of work. And then April 3rd on this schedule they gave me, they said will most likely be the day that they, let me double check that. Yeah, most likely be the day they do the egg retrieval. And they told me that they go up into your vagina with a needle, and then they go through the wall and into your ovary and take out as many eggs as they can get. So that, I think they will anesthetize me. They'll put me under. I'm pretty sure they said that. And it sounds pretty straightforward, just like my last surgery with my fibroids. So not too worried about that. And then that is when we come back, April 3rd, go back to work. Whatever they get, they will fertilize. Then whatever survives fertilization, they will try to grow for 5 or 6 days. And once they have those little baby embryos, they will biopsy them to check for abnormalities. And then they said the results of that take like a couple of weeks. So essentially, like, all this testing and all these things, the process with however it goes, ends up that April is mostly just like a waiting game, and they won't actually do any kind of like implantation stuff until I think, I can't remember whether they said early May, mid-May. So it's going to be a little while yet. But the process feels like it's at least started. And I only have a few days left of these stupid birth control pills. So I've heard the side effects of the meds that they do are not fun at all. But I just feel like it's 10 days. And so I don't know, whatever, get it over with. I also went to acupuncture a week ago and didn't know what to expect for that. I have heard from a lot of people now who love acupuncture, and I haven't heard anybody say that they hate it. So I guess a lot of people have found benefit from it. It was pretty crazy. She was super nice, by the way. It wasn't like weird and, you know, hippie, weird. I don't know. I didn't know what it would be like, but she was really nice. The first thing she did was kind of ask me about my health history and my goals for acupuncture. She looked at my tongue, and I know that you can tell a lot health-wise about someone by their tongue, but she didn't tell me what she was looking for. So she had me stick out my tongue, and then she had me lift my tongue. She looked underneath it. That was kind of weird. And then she had me take off just my pants. So I had shirt, bra, underwear on still. And I was laying face up, kind of on like a massage table type thing. And she covered me with a sheet. And then I had told her that I have anxiety, insomnia, and restless leg syndrome really bad. That has always bothered me a lot. And then I told her I was mainly there for fertility. So she kind of honed in on the restless leg because she said, we can't treat things separately really because your whole body is intertwined together. So we're gonna kind of work on your whole body. And the first thing we need to do is get you sleeping better. So she kind of focused on my legs, and some of the needles I did not feel. And the ones that I did feel, it kind of felt like when you touch the tip of your finger to like a sewing needle, like a really sharp needle, and you feel that little like zing, like that little poke, for like a second, less than a second, and then you don't feel it anymore. It's not like a lasting pain. It's not like getting a shot. So it really wasn't bad at all, like not uncomfortable. So she stuck needles all over my legs, and then she left me there. Oh, she did do a couple on my arms, and she did one on the back of my scalp. That was weird. She left me lying there for like half an hour. I was in like a totally zen state. I was like very meditative. It was weird. I was like super relaxed, and she came back after half an hour, pulled out all the needles, and and then she did like a mugwort thing. So she put some like cream on the spots where she had done the acupuncture, and then she burned mugwort and got it close to my skin, like close enough that I could feel the heat. And she did that on all the same points. And I don't know, it's something that like keeps the effects of the acupuncture on those points going. Anyways, she gave me 2 mugwort sticks, which look like big cigarettes. And she told me to do that every day. And I've kind of fallen off with that one, but I did do it for a few days. I'm not sure if it really helped much, but holy hell, the acupuncture itself, my legs were so calm the rest of that day and that night, and most of the rest of the next day. And then it started like kind of slowly coming back, but I think I'm a believer because it was, my body just felt really relaxed afterwards, and I didn't believe that it would get rid of my restless leg syndrome. It's been there, every day for as long as I can remember. It's so annoying. When it's really bad, I end up crying about it because it makes me not able to fall asleep. So I was kind of laying in bed that night, the same day that night and thinking there's no way, like there's no way this voodoo worked, and it's gonna happen any minute, and it's definitely not psychosomatic, but nothing happened. It was great. So I'm a believer now. I asked her if she has a lot of women come in for fertility stuff, and she said, oh yeah. So I kind of asked her what she likes to do for that. She said, I really like to see you before your IVF appointments. So if you can schedule on the days that you're going to see them, try to get in with me beforehand to see me. So I did set up another appointment with her on the 21st, and hopefully that helps. Like I said, I'm a believer now. I feel like it could help. It was just crazy getting it done. So what was I gonna say? Before I left, she had also put these little circle sticker things on me. They looked like little circle band-aids, and they had little tiny needles in the center of them. I couldn't feel them poking me, but I guess they kind of touch your skin in the acupuncture points. She stuck me in a bunch of different points, but she only put those band-aids on like 4 spots. And she said you can leave these on for up to 5 days. I think those did help as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go back and do that some more, and I think that is about it. That's all we know. I'm not gonna talk about meds right now because that is gonna be crazy, and I'm already trying to speed talk because the last video was 25 minutes. I am ready to get this show on the road. I am so tired of not having a baby, and I just can't stand it anymore. I love my job. You guys know that. I say it all the time, and I am present at work, but a part of me is just tuned out to life now. I'm just done with everything. Like, I just want to be pregnant. I want to have a baby. I want to have a family, and that is just where my head is at right now. So, yeah, I will do another video on meds once that rolls around, and we'll show you guys what we're working with in the entire bottom shelf of our fridge. And I think that is about it. So I will check in again in a couple of weeks. Okay, bye.